Alberta Primetime with Michael Higgins.
Welcome to Alberta Primetime. Ahead tonight, our politics panel on Premier Smith's pledge to get respect post-election. But first, what's to come of the federal NDP?
I'm hopeful for our party. I know that we will always choose hope over fear and optimism over despair and unity over hate.
The NDP's Jagmeet Singh on announcing he will step down as leader after both losing his own BC riding and the party failing to retain official status after falling from 24 seats at dissolution of Parliament to just 7 MPs moving forward, and one of those 7, and the only one from Alberta, Edmonton Strathcona's Heather McPherson. Ms. McPherson, good to see you, and congratulations.
Well. Thank you.
This is third go round.
Third time, yep.
Second time to be reelected. But your party took quite a blow. What do you put that down to?
Yeah. First of all, I want to just say how grateful I am to the people of Edmonton Strathcona for electing me again and trusting me to represent them in Ottawa. It does mean a lot to me. But yeah, it wasn't the results we wanted to see. And I think what we saw on Monday was a bit of a fear election, a bit of people voting because they were afraid, voting for things that they didn't want rather than things that they did want. And I understand that fear. What Donald Trump is doing is devastating, is dangerous. I think a lot of people were afraid of Pierre Poilievre and his sort of far-right agenda and the things that he had threatened to cut from Canadians. So people voted in a way that wasn't looking forward and wasn't optimistic and wasn't what they wanted to build, but rather to stop other things. And I think when that happens, New Democrats sometimes suffer.
How does your party leadership play into that, though?
Well, I think that in hindsight, we look at Jagmeet Singh, and I think he will be remembered as the leader that brought dental care to Canadians. He will be remembered as the leader that brought the biggest expansion of healthcare in a generation. Since Tommy Douglas, the New Democrat brought Medicare to Canada in the first place. I think that what Jagmeet did is very clearly put country ahead of party. We could have brought the Pierre Poilievre government into power. We could have brought the government down in the fall. Pierre Poilievre may have gotten a majority government, but you know what? Canadians would not have gotten dental care. There would not have been a pharmacare program in place, and Pierre Poilievre would have cut those programs. We weren't going to do that. New Democrats have always gone to Ottawa because we're trying to get things that will make life better for Canadians, and I think that unfortunately, Jagmeet paid a price for that. Okay,
now you're a caucus of 7, and there's the element of moving forward, but there's a little bit of an elephant in the room as well. Albertans maybe will have read Don Braid's column in the Calgary Herald, referencing the possibility of NDP MPs crossing the floor to prop up the Liberals and push them over the majority mark.
Well,
how do you respond to that?
I can tell that Mr. Braid never spoke to a single New Democrat. There is no one crossing the floor. We are all extraordinarily proud to be New Democrats, and there is a very big difference between a Liberal and a New Democrat. We will not have people crossing the floor.
Do you have people calling you up, though, post-election?
Certainly, I have not had those calls. I think people would know better than to call me.
Okay, all right. Well, so then that leaves the question. What comes now of the NDP voice in Parliament?
So,
7 caucus members.
Listen, we've always been a smaller party. As you mentioned earlier, we were 25 at the beginning of the last Parliament, 24 at the end, and I have to say, we were able to get dental care through, we were able to get pharmacare through, sick pay, sick days, anti-scab legislation, things that are really important to Canadians. And so we will continue to do that. Yeah, it's going to be hard. There's 7 of us, and that's a lot of work. That's a lot of pressure on our shoulders, because not only do we need to rebuild our party, but we also have to hold the government accountable. We also have to make sure that the Liberals live up to the promises they made to Canadians, and we will do that. I mean, the 6 other MPs that are coming to Ottawa with me are fierce. They are smart, they are hardworking, and we are going to continue to do what New Democrats always do. We're going to fight for Canadians.
And how much do you have to navigate or negotiate your way through a relationship with the Liberals?
Well, I think it'll be very similar to the last Parliament in that when the Liberals are doing things that help Canadians, when they are moving things forward that are on the New Democrat agenda, we will support them. And when they stop, we will stop supporting them. And I have to say, I have some concerns. We do have Mark Carney, who has not really been the Prime Minister ever before, who is a banker. We know that he's had a lot of experience building wealth for other people, but I'm not sure that he understands the reality for so many Canadians across the country who are struggling to pay their rent, struggling to pay for housing, for groceries. So I've got my eye on that. I'm going to be making sure that the Liberals are remembering that they are there to fight for Canadians, not for billionaires, not for the wealthy, but for the Canadians that elected them.
I have to ask, how do you fit into the leadership picture? Either maybe it's an interim capacity, or do you make a run at it?
So from my perspective, it's been 2 days since the election. We worked really hard to get to Election Day. There's been a lot of discussion, a lot of people, having conversations right now, and we are figuring out what it looks like when the 7 of us go back to Ottawa and how that's going to all work. So I haven't really put my mind to any of those sorts of conversations.
Okay, well then let me ask you this. What's the feasibility of someone from the outside of the federal NDP fold making a run for it?
I mean, there's always interest from all sorts of people who are interested in leading a federal party. Jagmeet Singh, of course, came from the Ontario NDP, and that's how he became the leader. I'm sure there'll be lots of interest once we have the leadership race underway. We
of course, we had a politics panelist suggest that maybe Rachel Notley could fit that.
I spent some time with Rachel Notley yesterday, and I would suggest that doesn't seem to be on her plate. That doesn't seem to be on her radar, but gosh, she's just such a phenomenal leader. Wouldn't we all love to see her take a role in public office again?
All right. Well, I guess time will tell. We're out of time. Hope to speak with you again soon as you get back into Parliament and get the ball rolling.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me.
All right. Thank you, Heather.